Do you think stock market scams are a modern problem? They're not. More than 300 years ago, Britain was rocked by one of the first great financial crashes in history. It was fueled by promises of endless riches, wild speculation, and political corruption at the highest levels. Thousands of ordinary people were ruined, and trust in the system was shattered. This is the story of the South Sea Bubble. In the early 1700s, Britain was drowning in debt. Decades of war with France and Spain had left the government owing tens of millions of pounds, an astronomical sum at the time. The national debt seemed unmanageable. Out of this crisis came what looked like a clever solution: the South Sea Company. The company was founded in 1711 with a grand idea. In exchange for taking on large amounts of government debt, it was promised exclusive trading rights with Spanish colonies in South America. Supporters painted a picture of galleons filled with silver, gold, and exotic treasures sailing into London. For a country hungry for wealth, the vision was irresistible. But there was a catch. Britain and Spain were at war, and the so-called monopoly was mostly a fantasy. In reality, the South Sea Company had very little business to conduct. The promise of fortune was more dream than reality. Still, the company's close ties to the government gave it an aura of credibility. Investors believed that if the crown supported it, it must be safe. By 1720, the South Sea Company made a bold move. It proposed to take on even more of the government's massive debt, offering creditors shares in the company in exchange. Parliament approved the deal, and hype exploded. The South Sea Company wasn't just a business now, it was tied directly to the financial future of the nation. Investors rushed in. Nobles, merchants, and even the king's family bought stock. Coffeehouses across London buzzed with excitement. Ordinary citizens, many of whom had never invested before, pawned belongings and borrowed money to buy shares. The frenzy was unstoppable. The price of South Sea stock skyrocketed. From about £100 at the start of 1720, it surged to more than £1,000 within months. Fortunes were made overnight. Newspapers, pamphlets, and gossip all fed the mania, promising that this was a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become rich. Other speculators joined the madness by creating their own companies. Some had real plans, but many were absurd. One infamous scheme promised profits from an undertaking of great advantage, but no one to know what it is. Investors poured in money anyway, blinded by greed. But every bubble eventually bursts. By late 1720, cracks appeared. Some investors began to question how the South Sea Company could justify its soaring value with so little real trade. Confidence wavered. When a few shareholders began to sell, panic spread. The crash came quickly and brutally. Prices tumbled from their peak of £1,000 back down to £100, wiping out fortunes in weeks. Families that had staked everything were left with nothing. Businesses collapsed. Suicides were reported. The dream of endless riches had turned into a nightmare. The aftermath was devastating. Investigations revealed a web of corruption. Members of Parliament and government ministers had been bribed with insider deals and free stock. The scandal shook the very foundations of British politics. Several high-ranking officials were disgraced and public anger boiled over. Yet, as always, a few insiders escaped unscathed. The early sellers who cashed out before the crash walked away rich, while ordinary people bore the brunt of the losses. The South Sea Bubble became a symbol of greed, deceit, and the dangers of speculation. Its legacy lasted far beyond 1720. For years, British society remained wary of joint stock companies and speculative ventures. Laws were passed to limit such schemes. But in the long run, the lessons faded, and new bubbles would rise again, each one repeating the same pattern of hype, greed, and collapse. The South Sea Bubble reminds us of something timeless. Financial manias are not new. They are part of human nature. From the South Sea Company to the dot-com boom, the housing crash, and modern crypto speculation, the cycle repeats. Excitement builds, prices soar, doubts grow, and then the collapse comes. The names and technologies may change, but the emotions, greed, fear, and hope remain the same. And the South Sea Bubble stands as one of history's clearest warnings. When promises sound too good to be true, they usually are. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more such stories.